Yo gamer, Nemi here my boys. Alright, so we are getting a patch in the next 5 days from now, and so I thought to myself, why not look at some of the characters that need some loving, like the characters that need buffs. And for this list I'm going to be looking at top 5 characters that need buffs. I'm going to make another list of the top 5 characters that need nerfs, but for now let's look at the worst of the worst. Alright, just to clarify, not a lot of characters are bad in this game. It's just that there are so many choices now, so many better choices, to the point that despite being good, the characters are still seem weak. So when I say buffs, I don't mean something that will like make them super top tier or like break them, but something that will make them more viable and compete against the top characters. Like literally almost every character in this top row is like, you know, super good and super top tier, right? So something that can make them compete with the very, very best. So without further ado, my boys, let's get right into it. Okay, so starting off our list at number 5 is Kazumi. Now I know this might piss a lot of people off and is a little bit controversial. Now first of all, Kazumi is actually not a bad character, like at all. She's a very, very solid character. Upper top tier, maybe like mid tier, I think she's actually still very good. But like I said at the beginning of my video, it's not that these characters are bad, it's just that they can't compete. Kazumi had a long reign from season 1 to season 2, but it was so long ago. It was so long ago. She's now fallen off. She's been power creeped like really, really bad. She had her back 2 nerfed, she had her down back 4 nerfed. I think they nerfed her damage on all her lows. She just feels very, very underwhelming. Not because she's a bad character again, but because so many of these characters have been buffed so much, like it's insane, right? Like, why play Kazumi when you can play Kazuya, right? I know they're completely different characters, but it's the same poking style, right? She has the hell sweep as well, you know, these kind of things. Like, there are so many better options. Why play Kazumi when you can play Feng? Because Feng can poke, right? He can do the same things but better, you know, things like that. So for me, and believe me guys, I really hate Kazumi. Like Kazumi, in terms of the gameplay, not design. Like design, she's a very, very awesome character. I really hope she stays for Tekken 8. But from a gameplay point of view, like gameplay side of things, she is so boring, bro. Right? Down forward 1, 1, 1, 2, down back 4, down 3, back 2. That's Kazumi. That's all she does, and it's boring and annoying as F. I don't really know what they can do to really buff her up, because her game plan is very fundamentally heavy, right? She doesn't have like cheap bullshit stuff, you know. She doesn't really have that kind of thing. She's very solid, but her down forward 1 is still busted in my opinion. The tracking is still insane. Her running 2 as well is still a problem. The tracking is insane. But overall, I feel as though she has just fallen off. There are just so many better options now, and it's sad. It's sad. But you can't make the argument that Kazumi had her time to shine and she needs to, you know, leave the spotlight for other characters. I can agree with that, but it's just not fun seeing so many characters being overshadowed by characters that are just much better choices, right? Like every character needs to be viable and unique in their own way, and it's kind of sad seeing Kazumi in this state. All in all, she is still a very, very solid character. Even if she is not buffed, I still see her doing well going forward. Not many pros are using her right now. Kokomi is back, but I saw him playing, I think that was Leroy, or was it Julia? So not many Kazumi mains out there. Feels bad, man. All in all, she's still a great character, still a solid choice. Okay, making my list at number 4, we have Asuka Kazama. Now again, these characters are not bad. Like Asuka is a very, very strong character. I'm actually thinking of picking her up, but like I said again, guys, it's just a thing of having better choices, which makes these characters, you know, seem low tier or not as strong. I feel as though Tekken is at a level where, you know, you pick any character and you can do well, but it will be really hard for you to compete at the highest level with these kind of characters. Now Asuka is an amazing character, bro. Asuka she's sick. I really love her. She's really fun. but she's missing quite a bit of stuff. I think the biggest thing she's missing is like a 10 frame Punisher. Just give her a 10 frame and I think you can call it quits. That's all she needs, to be honest. She has good plus frames, right? She has decent lows, full crouch, back one. You know, she has OP mids, like her mids are insane, right? The back three, keep out, running three. You know, she has strings for days, right? She has can counter hit, so she's a solid character, solid character, but she's missing a 10 frame Punisher, and I still don't understand why. Why does she not have a 10 frame Punisher? Just give her that and call it a day. You know, now Asuka, like again, she's a very strong character, guys, but I feel as though the list, like there are so many good characters that are better than Asuka due to this one reason. Her not having a 10 frame Punisher is huge. There are so many moves that can be abused against her just due to the fact that she doesn't really have a legit 10 frame Punisher, which makes that shit kinda sad. Kinda sad, bro. She needs that heavily, and that's why I feel as though Asuka belongs on my list. She belongs on this top 5 list, and that's why she makes my list at number 4. Okay, making my list at number 3, we have Josie Rizzo. Now, Josie is another good example of power creep. Season 1, Season 2, Josie was a mix-up monster. Like, this character was, she was insane. Like, she could mix you up, but like the switch stances, the Bruce Low, right, down 4, has a strong down 4 too, has a very strong orbital, right, she had good strings. The counter hit, bro, from the bro, she had she was so good. She was really good. But now we have characters like Falcon Ram, right? You like kickboxing or Muay Thai. It's kind of like, why play Josie when you can play Falcon Ram? Right? He's way better, he's way cheaper, he has way more bullshit than, you know, Josie. So it's that kind of thing. It's a power creep thing, and that applies, like I said, it applies to almost all the characters on this list, but more so Josie than any one of these characters. So I don't really know what they would do to buff up. I saw something like, I think it's forward 4. Her second hit now like knocks down on counter hit in the next update, which is good considering it's going to be really abused this thing. So it's a good thing, really good thing. As into what they would give her, like I don't really know what Josie needs. She needs some bullshit, bro. Like maybe give her more grabs, right? She's a Muay Thai character, so maybe more grab mix-ups. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't play Josie like that. I really haven't researched much on her, right? I'm always so salty about Josie because she replaced Bruce. So guys, Josie fans, please forgive me on this. I don't know much about this character, but what I know is that she used to mix the shit out of me. Season 1, Season 2, I had a friend who plays Josie, and man, those switch stance mix-ups were something else. But like now you have Falcon Ram who practically does the same things but at the wall, and they're like unblockable. So you know, like, why play Josie unless you really love her? At top level there's really no need to play Josie. But again, guys, like I said, these characters are not bad. It's just a case of power creep, and you know, at the top level, the most competitive level, like why play such a character when you can play Falcon Ram? That's the biggest issue with these characters. That's the biggest issue of having such a bloated character list. There are so many characters in this game now, you don't even know where to begin with at rating them, ranking them, you know. That's the biggest problem Tekken has right now. And balancing is going to be a huge issue, because the only way that would make such characters good again is just by giving them some random OP bullshit like what they did with Feng Wei. And I'm expecting the same thing for Josie, but I really don't like fighting against her, so I'm not really hoping for something too insane, but she does need some love. So that's the reason why Josie makes my list at number 3. And at number 2, we have my boy Eddie Gordo. Now, in my opinion, I think Eddie is actually good, and I think Eddie is one of the most underrated characters in this game. I feel as though this character, bro, this character is so good. It's insane. The only thing that makes Eddie bad is his jab range, and the fact that he does not really have a sidestep. Now, not having a sidestep is like really detrimental, like it's really bad. but his backdash is so godlike. Like, it's insane, bro. The only character that really comes close is only Zafina, but the comparison is not even close because Zafina is downright broken, right? But Eddie has such a good backdash that to the point where even moves that are like super plus on block, you can't really capitalize off of them due to the fact that Eddie can simply just backdash out of them. Like, he can get out of range really quickly. He's got a solid lows, one of the best lows in the game, sidestep 4. I don't really understand why people treat Eddie like this, right? He has back 1+4 as another option to like beat moves that he would normally get stuck in, but in my opinion I feel as though he's very underrated. But nonetheless, he does have very bad things in his kit. I feel as though Eddie is supposed to be a very strong mix-up heavy character, but the thing is he doesn't really utilize the mix-ups because his frames are really bad as well. His frames are really bad. Like, they need to do Eddie like what they've done with Zafina. Zafina has a stance, I think it's called like what, Mantis, you know, that bullshit stance that starts with like back 3 and she's in your face with like bullshit lows and like counter it. That's what they need to do with Eddie. Like, when Eddie does a rage drive, bro, this needs to leave you point blank range with the opponent for a free 50-50 between, like, you know, the low and the mid, things like that, right? Get a running 3 mix up, guaranteed mix ups, things like that. That's what I need to do with Eddie, bro. He needs to be very scary in terms of like mix up character in your face, right? And they also need to fix his war carry combo. Down, back 2-3 always takes the opponent, back to 4, sorry, always takes the opponent away from the wall. Like, it's so weird, right? I don't understand why. Like, it always takes them towards his left. So I need to fix that wall carry, make him take the opponent directly to the wall, right? Fix his frames. They gave him a 12 frame Punisher, which is very good. They fixed his 12 frame. So Eddie just needs a bit more tweaking to make him the perfect character that everyone wants him to be. But as of now, I do agree he needs some loving, but I do think he is not as bad as most people make him to be. Not a lot of people do well with Eddie. Not a lot of people play Eddie, but the people that do well, that use Eddie, actually do well with him. Characters or players such as Jongding and Abel the Maestro come to mind. They do very good with Eddie. Top 8 consistent placements. Abel the Maestro wins a shitload of tournaments with Eddie. So I feel as though people just don't give him a chance, bro. Eddie is hella legit. Very solid character. But I do agree he needs buffs, and this is why I place him on my number 2. Okay, so before we take a look at our number 1 character that needs the most buffs in this game for the next patch, let's talk about some honorable mentions. Now, top 5 is a very small list because I do believe there are so many characters that need a bit more loving in this game. For example, Lily was buffed, like she was really buffed in the last patch, but her problem is that she's very linear. Lily is very linear, and I don't understand why. She's very easy to sidestep, and so I feel that they need to give her a very decent homing move, like down forward 3. I don't know if it's forward 3 or down forward 3, but it's very slow, and I feel as though she just needs a proper homing move and she'll be solid, almost like mid to top tier in my opinion, because she's really insane. It's crazy. Gigas, very underrated. I feel as though he's been buffed enough, but they need to give him some movement. His movement is really bad. Jack is a very solid character because he has a very decent backdash, and I feel as though Gigas needs something similar to that just to get him above the level he is right now and give him a bit more oomph. Just give him a bit more movement to his kit. Katarina as well was really buffed and is very underrated in my opinion. She does so much damage. Her mix-ups are solid. A Harrier stance, honestly I don't really want to see her buffed because I hate playing Katarina. She's so easy, but I do feel as though she might need something, maybe just a very small tweak to make her solid. Shaheen as well. Shaheen is a very solid character. He has generic tools of like give a character all the generic tools and you have Shaheen. That's what makes him a very solid character, but I feel as though he was nerfed a little too hard and feels a bit more power creeped. So maybe a damage buff for Shaheen, just a slight damage buff would be enough. And lastly, I feel as though Lei needs to be fixed. Lei needs Razor Rush fixed. Like, it's so weird how you can sidestep a string. That's even if you don't delay the Razor Rush, you can still step it. So I feel as they just need fixes, not buffs, but fixes is what Lei needs. So these are just some of the honorable mentions. Most of these characters are in a good place right now and they don't need more tweaking. So now let's talk about our number one most needed character, desperate need of buffs. And at number one, and I believe you saw this coming, it's the Bears, bro. Justice for Rangchu. Justice for Rangchu in this bitch, bro. Our boys were done bad. Our Bears were done bad. The Bears are so fun to watch. They are so fun to play. If you haven't tried the Bears, guys, please give them a try. They are just so fun to watch. I don't understand why they are nerfed so bad, right? Rangchu deserves justice. He deserves justice. The Bears need some love. They were nerfed for whatever reason. No one played the Bears. Everyone was saying they were low tier, the worst character in the game. I believe everyone still thinks that, but Rangchu proved otherwise because, man, he did some serious damage with this character at the Tekken World Tour. So I think the Bears need movement. Give them proper backdash, just like Jack. Maybe Jack is a little bit too much, but maybe just a bit more backdash. Maybe take away the hitbox on the legs, right, and give them a proper backdash, right? That would make them a very solid character. I still don't understand why. Like, it's so sad, bro. I would stay here just complaining, but I don't even have to explain myself on the pandas, bro. Like, Rangchu deserves justice. So we don't understand why the Bears were nerfed. They're just a very fun character, bro. I really love them and I really hope to see them buffed one day. So that's my list, my boys. Now the Tekken roster is huge and there are so many characters that are good right now. So buffing characters that are already good is just not the way to go. Already from the upcoming update, we've seen some Yoshi buffs. Yoshi, I believe, is very, very underrated in this game, so I don't understand why they're buffing him again. Miguel got a shitload of buffs and he keeps getting buffed, you know. Lars, I believe, is a strong character now, but he keeps getting buffed, you know. But you know, he's my boy, so if you wanna buff Lars, bro, then buff Lars. So anyway, boys, that's my list. If you enjoyed my list, please look forward to my next list, which is the top 5 characters that need nerfs in this game. If you made it this far, again, my boys, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's the best way for you to keep in touch with my content and support the channel. Drop that like as well for the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, GG's, my boys.